Hey Degrassians! So first of all, I want to apologize to you guys if you are following my Degrassi recaps. I am going to be, or I have rather been missing the last 2 weeks because of obviously winter break and the holiday season and all that good stuff. I just did not have time to watch the shows and then set up and record. But I will be talking a little bit about the previous 2 episodes in this week's recap. So just in case you've been wondering, my little tidbits or thoughts on things that have been going on. So first of all, I just kind of have to jump right into this week's episode, reflecting on last week's episode, because last week's episode there were just some major bombs that were dropped out. So first of all, we know now that Drew is not the father of Claire babies, that is actually Eli's, and she was getting ready to tell Eli that last week, after Drew pretty much found out from Dallas and Allie that you know, Claire isn't his baby mama. So after Drew found that out, you know, Claire started freaking out. She's like, alright, I gotta go ahead and tell Eli what's up, because I don't want anyone else to tell him except for me. So she goes to tell Eli what's what, and he pretty much is like, yo girl, you a whore. Like, honestly, when Eli called Claire a whore, I was just sitting there like, what? Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, really though, Drew? I mean, really though, Eli? Because you guys have been through so much together, the whole cancer thing, and just, you know, him having bipolar disease, and just so many other things that Eli and Claire have been through. Y'all know, if y'all watch the show. And when he called Claire a whore, I was just kind of like dumbfounded, because it just made absolutely no sense. I just think that, you know, like, I understand, Eli, you mad and everything that, you know, Claire got pregnant by a different dude, but I mean, come on now. That's still no reason to call the love of your life pretty much a whore. Like, he was just tripping when he said that. Hopefully next week's episode, because I did see the preview for the part 2 for the winter finale. Hopefully not Drew, I keep wanting to call him Drew. Hopefully Eli will get his life and figure things out, because he messed up big time. So he needs to apologize to Claire, and they just need to work things. They just need to work this thing out, because friggin', I just can't see them like this. Like, I just, I hate it. I hate it, because I just want them to freaking get back together and love this baby that they're going to be having. So, now that I've gotten that out the way, I'm going to jump right into things that are going on in this week's episode. So this week's episode was pretty much all about cheerleading. Cheerleading. The episode started off and Frankie is with Miles and her dad and Hunter, and they're having like a meeting, you know, just kind of family talk or whatever. It wasn't really necessarily a meeting, but it was just kind of family talk. And they were just kind of talking about how his dad is wrapping up the campaign finally, because he's been doing this campaign for like 7 seasons now, or however many seasons it's been. It's been a long few seasons that he's been doing this Degrassi campaign or whatever. Not Degrassi campaign, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So he's like talking to them about it, whatever, and the whole topic of the oop chatting with the cheerleaders comes up, and Frankie's dad kind of looks at her and is just kind of like, you know, did you know anything about this? And then Frankie just pretty much plays dumb, and she's like, no. So pretty much after that incident, Frankie's like worried that, you know, her dad is going to find out about the whole chat thing, because at that point Miles pretty much said something to her, and he's like, yeah, if dad finds out about chat, you know, you're really gonna get it, you're really gonna get in trouble, and you could pretty much blow his whole campaign. And that's pretty much all, if you guys watch the show, you know, that's pretty much all that their dad cares about, is that freaking campaign. That's all he cares about. He don't care about them kids. He just cares about the campaign. So anyway, she starts freaking out or whatever, and she basically talks to the other cheerleaders on the team, and she's like, hey girls, you know, I think that we should put the blame on Zoe and, you know, make it seem like she's the one that rearranged this whole thing. You know, she's the pretty much the ringleader or whatever, so to speak, of the whole chatting, and it was her idea. Let's just put the blame all on her. So the team is like, you know, a little bit, you know, unsure about it at first, and then they decide to go along with it. So they have like this big, you know, confrontation with Zoe, and they're like, hey, you know, we're putting the blame on you, da da da. Now y'all know Zoe ain't finna take that laying down. Zoe bat a lash, or she didn't bat a lash. What's the saying? She didn't bat a lash. She didn't bat an eyelash, and she went about her business. And what she ended up doing was she pretty much put it on the face range page, which aka is Facebook. And she pretty much had pictures of Frankie, and pretty much said that she was the ringleader instead of herself. Now y'all know Zoe wasn't gonna, you know, take that mess laying down. She wasn't gonna be like, yeah, I'll take the blame for it, guys. Team Flair, please. Zoe is vindictive, and she is, you know, she's not the type of girl to be playing around with when it comes to stuff like that. So I don't even know why Frankie was surprised when Zoe put her on blast like that. Now, of course, I don't agree with what they did, because, you know, they shouldn't have did that. I think that they all should have took the blame collectively and been like, you know, this is what we've all been doing. But, you know, of course, they want to just push it off on somebody and not take the blame, because who wants to get in trouble, right? So, anyway, they put the blame, and then that whole thing happened, and, yeah, she pretty much put Frankie on blast. I kind of lost my train of thought. She pretty much put Frankie on blast. She's all over face range saying she was the ringleader. She was the person behind the whole chat thing. So after that, she pretty much kind of went to Winston and was just kind of like, you know, Winston, I can't believe, you know, this happened, blah, 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 blah. Some stuff went down. They exchanged some words, and basically, not in a bad way, though. And basically, Winston was pretty much like, he is the blackmailer. And Frankie's just like, what? What do you mean? He's like, well, I did it because I was trying to protect you. I just wanted Zoe and the other cheerleaders to get in trouble. I never meant for you to get hurt in the process. So, yeah, that went down. And, you know, of course, she's mad at him because, I mean, who wouldn't be mad at, like, duh. So then, you know, obviously, her dad, yeah. So then, Ish really hit the fan, and she goes home. They're doing campaign stuff, once again, for her daddy's campaign. Like, always. They're always doing the campaign stuff. And what happened was, one of the reporters or something brought up the whole chat thing, and pretty much said that it was Frankie who was behind it from the face rage page. And her dad starts freaking out, so he runs over and he starts talking to Zoe about the situation. He didn't run over, but so after that, her dad goes ahead and he starts talking to Frankie about the situation. He's like, you know, we'll protect her, we'll protect you, we'll do what we need to do about the story as long as you're telling the truth. And then that's when pretty much Frankie slipped up and was like, yeah, well, I did it one time, but, you know, it still wasn't my idea. I'm still not the one behind it. And her dad is like, well, what? What do you mean you did it? So after that, her daddy's pretty much mad, and he was like, well, you have to take full blame. Go out there, tell the news reporters that you're sorry. Do whatever you have to do to make this all go away. Don't worry about it. You gotta confess and pretty much tell everyone what's what. So Frankie's pretty much, she started freaking out, and to be honest, I don't think Frankie should have told her dad that. I think she should have just kept it low key, because you know her daddy crazy. Like, you know your daddy crazy, you know he for the snap. Like, he's a wild card. So if I was Zoe, I would not have told him nothing. I would have been like, okay, Dad, yeah, we can go along with the game plan. But once he found out for real that, you know, she had been a part of it, he wanted her to just confess to the whole thing. And it's like, well, that's not really fair, because, you know, she only did this one time. The other girls were doing it like dang on every day, just sitting there taking their photos and sending them out like it was no tomorrow. So after, you know, Frankie learns that her dad wants her to do this, she pretty much runs off and she runs into the arms of Winston, and she pretty much tells him that she's forgiven him and that she wants Zoe to pay. So next week is going down between Zoe and Frankie. There will be a showdown. Yeah. Alright, so the other major thing that was in this episode was my girl Claire. Y'all know that's my chick. She pretty much was she was also dealing with the aftermath of the whole cheerleading scandal. So they're having like this whole little student council thing, meeting or whatever with other parents. Parents are upset because of the chatting. You know, they don't really know what to do. And the principal, Mr. Simpson, he steps in and he's like, hey, you know, why don't we let Claire, you know, say the positive effects, or, you know, how student council can somehow help get rid of this whole dilemma. I don't know, it's something with student council, I don't remember exactly. But yeah, so Claire steps in and she's like, yeah, student council has helped me do this, that, and third, and it's really just a great thing for young girls, and I think it'll be a great way for them to just kind of, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then one of the parents busted her bubble and was like, chick, you pregnant. How in the world are you gonna, you know, help our daughters out when you obviously can't help yourself out? You're pregnant. So obviously, you know, why should we listen to you? So after that happened, you know, Claire's feeling all down and out, you know, and Mr. Simpson tries to come and talk her up and cheer her up, and he's like, you know, my wife used to be a teen mom from Degrassi, and she's a hairdresser, and she's married to me, and her life is great. Don't let being a teen mom stop you from doing blah 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 blah. So Claire's like, yeah, you're right. So Claire goes home, takes a nap, you know, and she has this crazy wicked dream about her and Mr. Simpson, and how she is like somehow his wife, and they got 2 kids, and she's making him bacon for breakfast. And I'm sorry, but that was pretty funny. And then she wakes up and she's like freaking out because obviously he wants to be married to the principal, right? So after that, Claire pretty much is like, I gotta stay in school. I don't want to be a hairdresser. I gotta do something with my life type thing. So yeah, she pretty much tells her mom that she needs to be in college, and yeah. She named out some school. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, that was pretty much Claire's story. And then last but not least, we have a little bit of a semi-happy ending to a story. I don't know what to really make of this yet, but it looks like Zig and Zoe might be popping it off and starting a new little romance once again. And the reason why I say this is because Zig and Tiny were trying to compete to see if they could get like a cheerleader's number or whatever. And both of them pretty much failed, and the bet was if they failed getting the girl's number, the other one would have to be a cheerleader for like a day and do like cheers in front of the school and wear like a cheerleading skirt, uniform, and all that other good stuff. So both of them failed because Zig got real close to the chick, right? He's like getting ready to get a number and stuff, and then she starts talking about Zoe and how she's such a slut, and you know, the cheerleaders from Degrassi are slutty and blah 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 blah, particularly Zoe. And we all know that we all know that Zig has a crush on Zoe. So when he heard this, he was like, oh no, you know, sticking up for her and stuff. And then pretty much it happened that he didn't end up getting her number. So he comes back to Maya, him and Tiny, and they're pretty much like, yeah, neither one of us got the number. So we both lose the bet. And then Grace walks in and she's like, well, I got the chick's number. So pretty much the girl, the cheerleader, was feeling vulnerable because she got pretty much dissed by Zig, because Zig dissed her after that whole thing that happened with her talking about Zoe. So after that, what happened after that? yeah, so then that happened, and then they, of course, since they lost the bet, both of them had to go ahead and do the cheerleading stunts and be cheerleaders. And they even had like little freaking bows on their head. That was pretty funny. So then, what happened after that? Oh, so then the reason why I said that there might be another romance blooming with Zoe and Zig is because while Zig was up there doing the cheerleading stuff, Zoe comes over and she made some comment about how, you know, he was making fun of her or whatever. And he's like, no, I don't really care what people think. This has nothing to do with you or something. I don't know. She was impressed with whatever he said. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, they look like they're about to rekindle their romance. So next week is the season finale. Definitely going to be watching that. Thumbs up if you're going to be watching it too. Make sure that you comment, rate, and subscribe. Yeah, because you don't want to miss my recap of next week's episode, because it's supposed to be a freaking fire starting in the episode. Like, I don't know what the heck is up with that, but yeah, seems like it's going to be pretty good. So make sure you guys comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next recap. Ciao.